Hey, thanks everybody for attending the Fire Exec Committee meeting here tonight, Monday, November the 18th, 2024. Please note that this meeting is being broadcast and recorded. Recordings will be made available on the YouTube channel. Looking at number 2 here on the agenda. If anybody hearing any interest, you can declare it at the appropriate time during the meeting. Item number 3 on the agenda tonight, minutes adoption of the committee meeting minutes. The minutes be adopted by the Fire Exec Committee, and that those confidential minutes of the closed sessions of the committee remain confidential and restricted from public disclosure in accordance with the exemptions provided in the Municipal Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. We have the Fire Exec Committee minutes of October the 21st, 2024, and Fire Exec closed meeting minutes of October the 21st, 2024. Everybody had an opportunity to take a look at those. Any business arising from the past minutes? Kristen, you have anything at all? Chiefs? Time 3. Thank you. Okay, business arising, item number 4 there on the agenda. 4.1 there, we got the Warwick Mutual Agreement. We have the Plympton Shores Mutual Aid Agreement. I know this was requested at the last meeting to be put on here, so we'll open the floor up. Any questions we have? Not starting with Warwick. Christian? Go ahead.
My computer's frozen.
If you want to talk, I know they're both kind of in question here tonight. If you want to mix and mingle and that, ask differences of the two, you go right ahead. We're not just addressing Warwick, we're addressing both of them.
Well, I guess the obvious question is why we're paying one and not the other.
Okay, now on that, we're paying Plympton Shores a rate of from 15,000, something like that, and then Warwick we pay them $1,500 per call. So that's the question. Why are we paying one? Other people wants to.
You want me to go, Will, or all this was done, so well, from time back, Forest has always had an agreement, but we started out with the township of Plympton before the amalgamation, or before the start of the Kamaki Fire Department. Then once Kamaki became a fire department, that the area that Kamaki covered and everything else changed, and but we still, township of Plympton still bought fire protection off Forest. It's been whittled back in the past number of years in the 90s and 2000s. But we did pay them a flat fee and then per call and everything else. That we didn't renegotiate, and back in probably 2016, I think, that there was talk about doing away with it at all. That one former counselor kind of compared it to somebody sitting at the Confed or Churchill and Mondawmin that is no closer to our hall than somebody on the northeast corner of Plympton Township or Plympton, Wyoming. That the residents around that area though felt that since they could basically watch the trucks come out of the fire hall, that why were they waiting for the Kamaki station to get there? That approximately drive time of that 10 minutes. The thing go back to the southeast or southwest corner, that there's no other fire stations around it that can get there any quicker than the Wyoming station can. So we decided for the residents that we go and leave that, shorten the area up and everything else, which reduced our flat fee. And use everything over in there. That, compared to, Watford or Warwick, they kind of volunteered their service. And they came to, we were willing to take in this little section to give you automatic aid agreement, everything else, that for a flat call out rate of this. And it was in there, one free call a year or something, so. So that's why there's not the yearly charge or anything else. So that helped explain a little bit, but.
So
If I may, do we offer our services to either any of them?
no, we don't have
Your mutual aid, yes.
well, through mutual aid, but not an automatic aid agreement
Sorry.
such as this. We did previously with Enniskillen, but we don't at the time, this time. Yeah. So through the chair, if I can maybe address the first question, which was why do we pay one and not the other? And I think the answer is that it's two separate agreements. And it's one is entirely negotiated with another municipality differently. And they happen to look very much the same because it's kind of a cookie cutter model that you would follow for the province, and then you can add in bits and pieces. So for Lambton Shores has had a little bit more added into it.
What is the little bit more? I really didn't see any difference between the two.
For that extra charge
You're-
per call.
What was the question? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what.
He was just saying Lambton Shores is a little bit different.
So under additional fees is where you'll see the difference.
Give me a minute.
So basically, you're just saying that they just want money and the other one doesn't.
Well, it's a passed by bylaw. It's an agreement that our council entered into.
Yep.
The Lambton Shores one just happens to include additional fees at the MTO rate. Or what you call it.
I was on the sidelines during the negotiation of these agreements, but I do remember them quite well because it was quite a hot topic of the era. I do recall that council had pushed to look at providing the same level of service to those property owners as the rest of the township gets. And because of the public outcry and the corresponding public input that they received, council as a whole decided to enter into that agreement with Lambton Shores to provide that higher level of service to that area based on that request.
I guess my only concern with all the agreement is it's not guaranteed service. If they have their own calls, they get a call when they're halfway there, they're servicing their own municipality. You're speaking with the chair, if I may. He stated that there were some trial runs done during the time of this agreement was being made up that actually showed that Kamlaki could make it within the accepted level of response times to this jurisdiction. I'm not saying we have to change anything. I'm just trying to understand. That's all.
Yeah, Kamaki did, or we did do time runs that at certain points and everything else. And we can, that, then comparing with the Wyoming area going again, using the farthest away points. And they're the house on the corner of Churchill and Mondamin is that approximately 10 kilometers away. So was the farther north end of it, their hills. But when you get down to Churchill and Mondawmin, and you're Troy is no closer, Rigdon's no closer, Sarni's no closer. So, but when you get to Forest, and you can sit at Douglas and Brush Road and basically see the fire hall in Forest. And so they've been used to having that service, and again, we want to make sure everybody's got, if we can get the best service to everybody. Then
So you're saying for the Lambton Shore specifically, that we did meet the trial runs? Yes.
Yeah.
I guess, and again, to expand on that, if I may, I mean, we do have settlement areas out that way that are in the works for expansion of development within those settlement areas. So I mean, with that increasing, does it now increase our costs for that automatic aid?
the area they cover, the area Forest covers, there's no development that will be taking place in there and for foreseeable future at all.
No, not Lambton Shores, in Plympton-Wyoming, there is.
Oh, yeah.
There is, so, and they're providing automatic aid to this area.
Unless the contract is renegotiated, yes. I believe the first iteration of this contract is in 2014, and the most recent one in front of us is from 2020, so it does get reviewed and updated every so often. So I'm sure if Lambton Shores saw a increase in calls due to the development in the area, they may consider requesting additional fees at that time.
That was part of the considerations before, I would assume.
It's not built into here, but yes, it is expected that it is to be reviewed and updated every so often. And if one party or the other feels that there's something that is not beneficial to both parties, then it can be amended at that time, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think it's important to note those things out for consideration as we do grow as a municipality.
We certainly had, Chris and I had a discussion on this and I certainly recall the time, I was not the chair at the time, Mr. Decker was the chair, or Mr. Shank, not sure which one, but that was back in 2019.
Yeah.
And that's when the time trials were performed and from Wyoming Station also. I believe, I'd have to go back and look at the minutes, but we met all those time trials. But we had such an uproar from the public based on what Adam said and yourself that, you know, they're looking out at a fire hall and so that resulted in a renegotiation, which at that time, I don't know the exact figure, but it was a lot more than $15,000.
Yeah, well, I think it was 20, I think it was up 25 or 30 or something.
I 33 something, but anyways, so they reduced it in half, but they also expanded the area. And if you look at the map, it's kind of a little bit of a weird coverage. If you look like at and this, I'm looking at Lambton Shores. Some of these areas that they cover are kind of out in the middle of the field. They don't cover.
Oh, it's all farmland, so, and like.
All farmland, yeah.
There's,
But like they show white spots along some of them lines, so they'll only cover certain sides of the road. Same when they get up into Hillsborough and stuff like that. You know, you see the white, they do not, all them cottages and all that up in there, that's ours, right? They don't cover that. So the question that Kristen had there about development, as you can see up along Townsend Line and this development going on up in there that they got coverage on, but whether they ever say anything or not.
yeah.
I don't know how many calls they've actually had each year.
Both Lambton Shores and Warwick, the call volume that might be 2 a year. Each one.
So anyways, Kristen, have you satisfied with?
Yeah, I just a point, that's Townsend, like Lake there, is it not?
Townsend, yes, it shows it.
And that's Lake Shore doing that.
I don't know what that scribbly
It
red.
does include all the cottages and area that, yeah.
They are listed.
All red,
I think it's just a small photo in a bad printer.
oh, okay, okay. Okay.
So, if I may, one more question.
Go right ahead.
So this has been, it will be going on 5 years. This has been reviewed. Does somebody just pull the trigger if something changes, or does it just stay?
I do not see an automatic renewal or an automatic renegotiation clause. So I think that's something that one or the other municipality would have to trigger. So I think the first iteration, this is 2014, because I do believe Kyle Pratt was the person who had initially dealt with it.
Yeah.
And then in 19, it was just a review and a renewal.
And
But it is coming up to approximately that 5-year mark where you would typically look at these agreements.
go ahead, chief.
For a little bit of clarity too, for that, the agreement signer, that we have automatic aid agreements and we have mutual aid agreements. The automatic aid is trying to get the closest fire service to that spot. And everything else, that either, that, all those maps, everything else, that Kamaki, Wyoming, whoever, we're still calling out, just as Forest or Warwick will get the first page. You know, we still must respond to it as well. They're not covering that area for us, that they're assisting us with it.
No, and I totally appreciate what you're saying. And, I guess with any of these agreements, either one of these agreements, I guess it's still that concern of it's not automatic. It's not guaranteed.
No.
No, it says it's an automatic.
Yeah.
It's not a guaranteed response. And I guess that's the biggest part that.
Yeah.
When we're paying these fees. You know, you should have guaranteed response. In my opinion, we're paying those dollars for it.
You're not gonna get that in Ontario.
No, apparently not.
No.
Well, unless we get our own.
Yeah.
Response, then we have it. That was all.
Gary, do you have any questions on that?
None at all. I was here when the council chamber was filled with residents off of that area up there, when we talked about possibly changing the aid from the shores, and we heard their voices loud and clear, so I have no issue with the way things are in place right now.
I just have one question. If they respond to a fire out there, we're still, and we respond, you actually ask them to unhook and you, you would, eh?
Depends on the.
There, depends on the fire and everything else, but it can go all of a sudden if it's a decent fire or whatever.
Yeah.
It also goes from automatic aid to mutual aid. and Everything else.
So even though they would be hooked up fighting the fire, you would hook
Yeah,
up and
replace
Okay.
equipment.
Yeah.
Lots of times if it's a big enough incident, then we would want to keep them, but we want to make sure we declare that it's now under mutual aid.
so they can
we're
go
not
home and cover
following.
their own area. Yeah, okay. Okay. Hey, anybody got anything else on that? Moving on, number 5, fire exec meeting receives, well, we better get my motions here. Catch up here.
The old timers now.
Okay, sorry. The fire exec, it was moved by Christian Rodriguez, second by Gary Axon. The fire exec committee receives and approves the payables for over 2024. Have them in front of you there and very nice page. Any questions on that from Gary?
Thank you. First of all, my thanks as well for the health size print. Safe design for boots. Those would be new replacement boots for new people.
That's correct. Yeah, there's 2 separate invoices there, but it was for 5 boots total. And there was a 6th pair ordered after the fact that will probably on the next month's. Yeah, they're roughly $600 a piece.
I see the fire check protection services, replace number 2 Phil whip seat. Did it need replaced or?
Yeah, there was the fill station in Wyoming. One of the hose whips that hooks onto the cylinders to fill it had a an O-ring that was damaged, so that was the replacement for that seat that seals it off when we go to fill the air cylinder.
They do, so.
Yeah.
No, I think it's very clear. I have nothing really, anything else on there, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Kristen?
Yes, thank you. I see our new ladder truck needed quite a bit of work. Have we used it yet?
We have been training on it. But yes, it's not in service yet to respond.
Because of the training.
Yes.
So the ladder truck is now good to go.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And the cedar signs, flashing green light signs, what is that? Is that the flashing green lights for the
So-
truck? Ours?
Those through the chair, those are you're gonna see new signs when you come into the municipality at different entrance points. Telling you that if you see a flashing green light, you've probably seen them in other municipalities. If you see a flashing green light, that means that volunteer firefighters are responding. Just to make the public aware that we do use flashing green lights for our response to the station.
Excellent. I like that.
Yeah. It's a very good initiative.
Yeah. Charlie and Lambton, did we have another lightning strike or are we still paying for
It's
the,
the same lightning strike.
and are we done paying now for the lightning strike? I feel like we've paid a lot for. We keep paying for a lightning strike.
Yes, as far as we know. It's,
Oh.
all I know on it.
And Sarnia Police Service, the annual dispatching services for 2024. So this is an annual fee, correct? That I'm looking at, the 35,000. We pay
I would have to look at the invoice for sure. I think it included some setup. We'd have to investigate that further to give you
Yeah, because I just wanted to make sure that's the annual price because we budgeted 33,232 for 2024. And I see the bills at 35, and then we budgeted 33,232 again for 2025. So if it's gonna be the higher amount, I guess we'll kind of make note of that. That's budgeting. Unless it is extra costs in there that we're unaware of.
I'd have to look into it further, to say for sure, but I thought it might have something to do with setup on it.
I feel like we haven't paid anything to them yet. Ready for setup?
That I'm aware.
Well, if that's something we could look into.
I don't, pay anything- I can't remember paying any last 20,
It's December.
because we just started dispatching in December, so,
No, I mean for this year, in this.
yeah, I know, yeah.
year. My computer died. I don't know what's wrong with it, so.
Good, plug it in.
Yeah, and it's stuck with an arrow, with a doorknob.
Hit the off button.
I did.
Got cold. Okay. Anything else?
And that was it, thank you.
Gary, you didn't have anything else?
I don't, do you, Mr. Chair? Do you have anything?
I have one item, yeah. Not a big item, and don't take offense to this, chief, whatever you do. Thank you, George. Money for the 45-year service, didn't it? Why would that come out of the fire budget?
It comes out of the recognition budget. That was noted at the budget at the beginning of last year, that appreciation days and recognition outside of Christmas come out of the fire budget. Any general recognitions that are part of the Christmas come out of Christmas, but that was a special event outside of Christmas. So that came out of the fire budget along with the firefighter appreciation.
Okay,
We did, but
just trying to give us a little money in our budget, so. We agree with that. Okay, all in favor of the payables? Very good, here. Number 6, staff reports. We don't have any staff reports. Number 7, no bylaws. Number 8, correspondence action required. We don't have any. Number 9, correspondence recommended meetings, routine approval. 21. The joint health and safety minutes. Meeting minutes November 5th, 2024. At the Kamlaki station. Here, do you have any questions on their health and safety review?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, through you, to the chief. Good minutes. I'm glad to see that they're being done and posted. How often do we do health and safety at each station, guys? I just forget.
It'll be every 3 months. I know the guy just reading here previous minutes of the January 24. I know I think we were a little late on this meeting, but I know there was another meeting in there, so.
Another one in between there?
Yeah.
No, I have no, I think I'm glad to see that being done, because that's something we've asked for.
Yes. Yep. Kristen, any questions on the health and safety committee?
Yeah, yes, thank you. Yes, I was a little surprised by all the issues that exist at that station. I'm glad that there was somebody we've got this committee together and they're filing these issues, but I mean, we should be really practicing what we teach when we're going into businesses. A lot of this stuff wouldn't even be acceptable. To see it in our own fire department is like, what is the timeline to address all these things? It wasn't noted in the minutes. And if they're only meeting every 3 months, like, I hope the smoke detector's been replaced.
Yeah.
Um, What is the timeline for some of these? Do we know?
I just found a few things in place and that, good part of that came to do with the renovations in the fire hall that last spring. Everything else, and I guess just kind of got to look getting the board back up and else, the materials are around there, it's just not posted conveniently, everything else there, so that's just a quick fix on that one, that we'll get working on that right away. And
Do we have a process for the fire extinguishers in place?
we did have that, and that had Sentry coming in on a regular basis, but check all that in both stations, so
I know they're doing them in the Wyoming station. Are they still doing them in Kamlaki?
supposed to be.
Will you reach out to them then?
Okay.
Okay, so I guess you can't answer on timeline. Maybe we can know that for our next meeting. I mean, because some of these, like I said, I mean, we're making sure our businesses,
Yeah.
homes are being responsible. We're not even doing, so we should be leading by example here.
I would suggest that most of these items being health and safety related will be as soon as possible.
Yes, so it would be good to know.
I agree.
You have anything else on something? No, and I would have backing up Kristen and what she's saying, yeah, an Adam's statement, yeah, some of these need to be addressed like ASAP. I mean, copies of the WSIB book and everything else like that needs to be, that's simply hanging the green book on the board. Maybe the board got taken down during renovations and stuff. Yes, absolutely. And fire extinguishers for sure. So, yeah, so I won't repeat what Kristen's already said, but okay, we'll, that can be dealt with before 3 months, that's for sure. Okay, new business. Gary, any new business tonight?
We don't, Mr. Chair.
Kristen, any new business?
Nope.
Jordan? Mr. Will?
No, sir.
Mr. Adam?
No, sir.
This is Nicole. Okay, then. We are going to move into closed meeting session, 11.1 there, so I'm not sure who's staying and who's not. Was moved by Mr. Atkinson, second by Kristen Rodriguez, that the Fire Exec Committee moved into an in-camera meeting of committee pursuant to section 239 of the Municipal Act 2001, as amended for the following reasons. Item A, personnel matters, section 239 2B, personnel matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. Items B and C, employee matters, section 239 to D, labor relations or employee negotiations. All in favor?